Well, it's another beautiful day out here. We got rain most of the night last night, but it's quit now, and I think that that's going to be it for the rest of today. So actually I can live with that. If we get, you know, rain and then a little dry period after that, so the water has time to drain, then it seems like things don't really get that bad. The slough along the road here going into the winter pasture has gone down. You can see the road's not flooded anymore, which is nice. Still a lot of puddles, but not flooded. Today I've got a pretty full plate. There's, you know, the morning chores that have to happen every day. And then after that, I got to run to town, which I never look forward to doing. I need to get some supplies for the shop, and it seems like there's some other things that I need to do while I'm there that I just can't think of right now. My goal by the end of the day is to get the Jubilee pulled into the shop and maybe start tearing it down. I'm not sure if we'll get that far today, but we'll just have to see how far we can get. That's what's going on today on Farmertylerranch. Looks like you guys are good for today. All right, finally, we're here. I know for you guys it doesn't seem any different, but on my end it takes me about twice as long to get here now because half the roads to get out here are closed and flooded. But we're here now, so run and grab the tractor and get this bale unloaded. All right, they are once again happy. They're actually leaving a little bit of hay in that feeder, and I noticed that there is some grass starting to pop out here. So I might be able to stretch these guys another day on the bales. I'm not sure yet. If the sun would ever come out and we got like a halfway warm day, I think the grass would really take off here, and we might be able to stop feeding them altogether, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen for a little while. In the last video that you guys saw this feeder, a lot of people were saying that I should move it on a regular basis, but the reason that I'm leaving it down here is because in the summertime, no irrigation water gets down here, and this is sort of just wasted space. So I don't really mind if they tear this ground up down here. Yes, I am probably losing out on a little bit of spring growth. If you look over here where there is no hay on the ground, you could see what this ground probably would have been doing right now if we hadn't started feeding hay here. Although with all that being said, you can see there is a lot of standing water down here because we're down on the flat. I might, when I bring the next bale, I might move that ring feeder up here to where the ground is a little bit drier, just so they're not standing in the slop while they eat. All right, we're back here at the shop now, and the next goal, like I was saying, is to get the Jubilee moved into the shop. No more will she sit out here and waste away. I'm gonna get this thing in really good shape. I'm excited to start working on it, but the first thing we gotta do is make some room in the shop, and I've got the perfect spot for it. Before I can get the Jubilee in the shop, I gotta get this platform off of the back here. And in the past, I've done this using a high lift jack, but that's really, it's not great. It's not the funnest thing to do. So that's why I'm hooking up the lifting arm. I'm just gonna try to grab it on where the top link would attach, pick it up, and then I should be able to get these lower links off and roll the tractor away from the platform. Sounds really easy. We'll see if it is. Here's one side. I think we're free. So what happened is the 3-point arm's kind of hooked on those pins, and needless to say, the platform here is kind of still attached. It's going with the tractor. So I think what I need to do is unhook, bring the 3-point arm back here, lift this up again, and make sure it's completely off of the tractor, and then it should be free. All right, well, we got the Jubilee in the shop. That is big progress. It's a huge step. Now it's a lot easier for me to work on this thing. And I've got a pile of parts here on the workbench already. I've got some ideas that I know what I want to do to the tractor, and I'm not really sure how far I want to go with it. Do I just want to make it a runner? Do I want to make it a pretty runner? I'm just not sure. One thing that I know needs to be done, and it's probably gonna be the first thing that I tackle, is this head gasket has got to be replaced. So it's a little bit late in the day right now. I don't feel like I really have enough time to really dive into this. It's in the shop. That was the main thing I wanted to do today. Let's go down to the ranch and do evening chores. The other thing, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this. I don't know that I have any use for it in its current form, but there's a nice frame here, you know, with the 3-point attachment points already set up the way they need to be. So I'm not really sure if I should kind of rebuild this, put a new deck on it. I mean, sometimes it's handy to have a platform on the back of the tractor. I don't know. Do you guys have ideas? Let me know, because I really don't. You do. So today is the end of a reach day. What I'm doing with the cows in the big corral here is I'll put one big round bale in this feeder every 3 days. The first day they eat to their heart's content. Day 2, which is today, is a reach day where we end up with this sort of ridge line of hay right in the middle. And then day 3, tomorrow, I'll come out here with the pitchfork and spread that all out so that they can get it. I do this so that I can sort of moderate how much hay they're eating. And I one time had somebody ask me, why am I doing that? Because he free feeds his cows, and everybody where he is at free feeds their cows as well. When he told me where he was from, it made perfect sense. He was feeding cows in Wisconsin, whereas we're feeding cows here in California. The high today where I live was in the mid to upper 50s, and the reason why that matters is because when cattle consume hay or whatever they're eating, they're using a portion of those calories to keep themselves warm. So as you might expect, a cow in California doesn't need to eat as much as a cow in Wisconsin might need to do when that cow is facing negative temperatures on a regular basis. The animals that I do free feed, however, are these harvest steers, because obviously I want them to gain as much weight as possible. But the mother cows in the big pen there are on more of what's called a maintenance ration, meaning they're getting everything that they need, but they're not being allowed to overeat. Because we live in a fairly mild climate here, the cattle don't really need those extra calories, and there's actually a danger of them being too overweight going into calving season. Especially with first calf heifers, if they are too fat, they're a lot more likely to have calving difficulty. And the reason for that is simply that muscle stretches and fat doesn't. You guys are on a reach day as well. I see you've got a little bit more though. So there's really not a whole lot to see, which is good, but there is a couple more things that I need to check still. One is Pandy's food, our barn cat, and the other is my trail camera. All right, Pandy's dish is full, and let me climb up and grab the trail cam. If you guys remember, a while back I set this trail camera up because I wanted to see what was eating the cat food, or more like I wanted to verify that I was in fact feeding a cat. And once I did, I just started putting the trail camera up in a bunch of random places inside the barn to see what I could catch. And what I learned is that I've got quite the little ecosystem going on in this barn. I found a lot more animals than I thought I would, and rather than tell you about it, I think I'm just gonna roll some of the clips right now. So from all this, I learned that, one, when I find the cat food dish knocked over, it's probably because Callie was eating it. Obviously, we knew that we had a cat in there. That's no surprise. The owls were not a surprise either. There have been owls living in this barn my whole life. The one thing that did kind of surprise me was the possum. I wasn't expecting to see him in there, and I definitely wasn't expecting to see him not only on ground level, like in between the hay bales, but also up in the rafters. I mean, that guy covers some ground. I'm not really sure what possums eat. I don't think they're fast enough to like catch rodents or anything like that. I assume whatever he's in there eating is probably something that I don't want in the barn anyway. So I think I have a pretty good feel for all the residents that live here in the barn, and now I want to go try putting the trail camera up somewhere else and see if I can be surprised again with what I find. The challenge around here is that you can't put it up anywhere where it can see the cows, or else they're just going to set it off all day and all night, and even if you did get something good, you'd never find it because, you know, you just start deleting. So I'm kind of thinking about maybe putting it out in the pasture somewhere. I don't know, we might not see anything out there. We might just see some birds, but we might catch some coyotes, we might catch some raccoons. I don't really know. So that's the plan. I think I'm gonna pull the footage off of the camera that I've got now, and then tomorrow I'll go set that thing up out in the pasture somewhere. I think that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.